Big chapeau to you. Right, it's getting warmer. I know that because I'm ginger. And probably it's the best barometer of weather ever, because if it's hot, my head turns red, and that's how I know. And it's important to know how we keep safe. And I say flippantly, I burnt my head on Monday, stupidly, absolute stupid. So as it's getting warmer, we're getting into the spring, going into the summer, I thought it'd be a good idea to catch up with Peter Horrocks. Now, Peter is the chair of the community pharmacist in the Tees Valley. And I asked him a few things.
It's great to get that sun on our backs, isn't it? And get some nice vitamin D generated. But yeah, there's always risks that come as we change out of the winter illnesses into some of the summer illnesses. And I think probably worth chatting to you today, Gary, about that. Things like hay fever, insect bites, and sun care. So obviously the hay fever, this is the kind of first thing that crops up this time of year. And the thing that's happening there is the trees start to pollinate. So we see the tree pollen coming in spring, then we see the grass pollen coming in through the summer. The key message there is around making sure that you start taking antihistamines if you're affected. Start taking them early. Start to build up the levels of the antihistamines in your body before the symptoms become severe. And there's other things that we can use by visiting here at pharmacy. So antihistamines and sterile nasal sprays are usually the most effective combination. But also some practical tips such as wearing sunglasses, shower and changing your clothes after you've been outside. And antihistamines and the treatment for hay fever are easily and commonly available at your pharmacy. It's an appointment with your GP, and for some patients, they can get these items free of charge. Moving on to insect bites. So obviously nature's awakening. The plants are coming into life, but so does that mean the insects as well. And we can sometimes end up with insect bites. Again, we treat them commonly with antihistamines, sometimes a mild steroid cream. But for some people, they're unlucky enough that insect bite can get infected. It usually happens about 48 hours after the bite has occurred. And the things you want to be watching out for is a continued swelling, heat and warmth, possibly some pus or rashes there. And that's the time to seek further assistance. Now, we're really fortunate that across pharmacies across the North East, we have what's called the NHS Pharmacy First service, where you can receive treatment for infected insect bites without having to go to your GP. And obviously, you've got the reassurance that when the pharmacist assesses you, they'll be able to determine the seriousness and whether you do need any further medical treatment, or whether we've got something at the pharmacy that can help to treat that.
How do you know that the symptoms you have is hay fever?
For most people, it's a recurring annual condition, so most people will know that they get that. But for a few people, they kind of can start with it later on in life, or they might never have been affected, but they are this year. And sometimes that can be a change in what are the different things that are pollinating in the area, or if you move to a new area or work in a new area. But the signs to watch out for is itchy eyes, repeated sneezing, lots of kind of nasal clear discharge, and generally feeling quite lousy. Sometimes it might feel like a bit of a cold coming on, but then it's persistent and doesn't develop into cold symptoms, and it's more of the signs of that allergic reaction.
You were saying as well about insect bites being infected, and it's something that you can help with it at pharmacy. A lot of people now are starting getting the shorts on. Yes, I've had the legs out, Peter, before you ask. The legs have been out, mate. Yeah. Taken out to the countryside, whatever. You have to watch out for ticks and things like that as well when you're out and about, and just keeping an eye on those.
You do, yeah. I mean, obviously ticks can carry Lyme disease, which is a serious bacterial infection. So the best thing to do is have some maybe some tick tweezers available. Often people with dogs have these as well to help remove them. And then if you are concerned, to seek that medical reassurance promptly if you do believe that you have had a tick bite.
And again, and another one as well. I'll put my hand up. I did this on Bank Holiday Monday. I went to Seaton Crew for chips, walked on the beach, burnt me head, no sun cream on. Even though it feels a bit cloudy, those sun rays are starting to get a bit stronger now, aren't they?
It is. It's easy to do because we don't expect it so much in this country. It's not like packing the bag for a beach trip in Spain, is it? But so we can sometimes find out that we're out for the day and we inadvertently catch a little bit too much sun. So get yourself prepared. Pop down to your local pharmacy. Grab a bottle of sun cream. Ideally, sun protection factor 30 or higher. Just keep it in the car. Keep it in your bag. It should ideally be applied 15 to 30 minutes before going out in the sun. But it's important to reapply it every couple of hours afterwards, and massively important to take care of those kids, because infant skin is that much more susceptible to burning. The other thing to do is also remain hydrated. Drink plenty of fluids when we're out in the sun, because what we don't want to do is become dehydrated.
Does that include the beer garden, Peter?
In moderation.
In moderation. But people will be laughing now because the temperature's today between 16, 20 degrees, and I can see people rolling their eyes and saying, oh, it was wrong. But we're starting to get into that season now where we need to be prepared, don't we? And this is the whole thing, being prepared of what's coming up right the way through April, May, June, July, August into September, and having those things around so that we know if we are going out, we've got them in the pharmacy cabinet in our kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. Being prepared is far better to be having to react and help try and deal with things once you've got a problem. So yeah, your local community pharmacist can help you manage all of these conditions and just walk in for some expert advice.
And that's the thing, is you can just walk in and you don't have to be shy. You just go in and there will be somebody in your local community pharmacist will be able to help you out.
Absolutely, certainly will, Gary, yeah.
Doctor strike yesterday, the resident doctors out on strike. Have you seen an uptake within the pharmacy community in the Tees Valley of people coming to you, maybe not quite understanding what the resident doctor strike's all about?
Yeah, people naturally are worried, particularly when it's published in the media about doctors striking, and obviously it's a proportion of the doctor network that's right, which is the resident doctor. So your local GP is there when you need them, but equally so is community pharmacy. And if we can help to relieve some of the pressures across the NHS, it should make it easier for others there having to pick up the slack. So there's lots and lots of conditions that can be readily treated at your community pharmacy, and that's often the best place to go for some of the first minor illness type things that we can help with in pharmacy.
Is this in a perverse way, with it being a resident doctor strike, will highlight the work that you do within the community? Because you're not just there for a bottle of Ozine and your prescription, you're there for much, much more, and hammering home that message is so important.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, the NHS is obviously a huge organisation, and people don't always access it at the right place at the right time. People sometimes go to that higher levels of care at A&E when they don't actually need to be there. So it is a good reminder for people to say, well, actually, which professional within the NHS do I need to see? And pharmacy being that open door to the NHS and that first point of contact.
Peter, you're an absolute superstar. Thanks for your time this morning, mate.
No problem, Gary. Take care, mate.
See you, buddy. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.
There you go. Peter Horrocks, community pharmacist, and he's the chair of the Community Pharmacy Tees Valley. Just giving us some little pointers as we start to get in that season. Hay fever, big old thing. Few people around the office, and I know you'll be working with a few folk as well, who'll just be starting to stream. Prevention is far better than cure. So there's a few things that you can be doing to protect yourself as we get into those warmer periods. But, they're on the negative side, aren't they? I want to know all the positives. So what are you looking forward to in the summer? And I know